from early on in the season till now, and he's never the same. And I don't think anyone is. You're always getting better or worse, and Matt is always continually trying to get better, and he finds a way.
How much do you feel like he's progressed since last spring?
I think a ton, just like everybody does. I mean, the more reps people do, the more situations they're in. When you have a guy who is like that and the type of personality he has, I mean, he's always going to get better until his body someday doesn't allow him to. But the way his character works, and he always has had the talent since he got drafted, so everyone knows that. But when you got that type of mindset, it's tough not to continue to improve.
Dan said that Taylor Gabriel's more than just a utility guy. You obviously had previous history with him. At what point when he got here, or I guess was there a point when he got here where you knew, this was going to be a player that we could use?
No, I knew that in OTAs working with him in Cleveland. I mean, Taylor's a very good receiver, and we got him in a tryout camp. He had a really good college career. I think he's like the all-time yardage leader at Abilene Christian. So he's always been a good player. But when we got him in the tryout camp, and we knew on his college tape how tough he was. Anytime you got a smaller guy, you want to see if they can handle the hits and stuff, and he can. One thing, he's tough, but two, pound for pound, he's a very strong person. That's why he doesn't go down very easily. His lower half and his upper body, he is strong. And Taylor's developed in all of his routes. He can run the routes. He's not just a gadget guy. So the only thing people can say negative about Taylor is his height. But when you have everything else, I think his height's an advantage. It allows you to be quicker, allows you to have your feet under you. And there's not anything, a run play, a route that we wouldn't hesitate to put Taylor on.
In that vein with Taylor, you spend the off-season scheming, you spend training camp scheming with a group of guys, and then he becomes available there in early September. What did you have to change? How do you integrate him so well like you guys did?
It's not hard. It's easy. When you got a guy who can do a little bit of everything, you always want to use your guy's best attributes. And when you're faster than most of the people you're going against and quicker, those are the things you're going to lean towards. If that's all you can do, eventually defenses know how to play you. So Taylor can do the other stuff too. So that's what allows him to have some continued success as the year goes. But we look at that with every player we use. Not just the receivers, but the tight ends, the running backs. If not everyone is Julio, where you can do everything. But as long as you have a specific trait, an NFL trait, where we think we could feature it. Usually, there's a time in the game or a time on the field where coverage dictates that, and we try our hardest to put those guys in those positions. And they've done a great job of coming through in those areas, and Matt's done a great job of going to the right people at the right time.
How do you best describe, I guess, what the Mac effect has been on the offensive line, and what one guy in the middle, how his presence affects everyone else along the line?
It's huge. Everyone knows Mac's a very good player, and he has been his whole career. We did a lot to get him here, but I'll always say this to people. You can never do too much to get a guy who is the type of person Mac is. Everyone knows he's a great player, but what takes him to a next level is how he comes to work each day, how important it is to him. Every play and every game means the world to Mac, and it's just something that he naturally has. Football is very important to him. The guys gravitate around that. They respect him, whether he talks or not. And he has his times where he's vocal and his times where he's not. But just the way he goes about his process every single day. And he was the exact same way in Cleveland, even when things weren't going good. So that's just who he is. He doesn't have to be up or down. And he's also extremely intelligent. So he can handle all the calls. He can handle changing the snap count up. And those are things that add a calmness to the overall offense. The quarterback doesn't have to worry about it as much. The coaches don't. We can let Mac take care of a lot of that. And where do you spend your time? And when a quarterback or a coach doesn't have to worry about that stuff as much, you can spend it in other areas, and I think it helps you get better in other spots.
How does the versatility of having so many weapons on offense make this offense so prolific?
It just allows you to do things the right way. You don't have to force stuff. You can just see what the defenses are doing and attack it. You're not always in that situation. Sometimes you want to attack something, but you just don't have the right situation where you think you can win there. And you don't, like I said earlier,